Hey MVPs, RicoKnows here. Going to talk to you guys about the results from week 6, right? College football. First thing I want to say is, as a capper, as someone who advises gamblers and analyzes matchups, yesterday was probably one of the better days in my career. Like, seriously, over the last 2 years I've been doing this professionally, and I got to tell you that yesterday was probably the most gratifying day for me professionally. It really was. And the reason for that is there was a number of upsets in the top 25. And I just know that I advised my members to avoid the potholes as best I could, that I advised my members with sound advice, and I feel really good about the results. Feel really good about where we're at. You know, going into the weekend, we were undefeated. Weekday games had occurred, right? If I scroll down here and I show you these things here, and if you're watching on Discord, you can't see them in the top left corner, but I'm recording this on the Discord server while we're here. But we were undefeated against the spread, picking all these games during the week. We were 4-0, 6-0 going into the weekend, and that felt very, very good. But one thing I wanted to tell all my gamblers was getting 6 games in a row during the weekday is incredible. It's one of those things that you're super proud of, but you also understand that the law of averages is going to come back to get you. Right, I've been picking against the spread over 500 games, and I'm at around 60%, 61%. So I know that we're going to miss at some point. We got to brace ourselves accordingly. So I gave it sound advice to the gamblers. I said, hey, guys, going into this weekend, the shoe's going to fall off. Right, the slipper's going to fall off, and that's a reference to Cinderella. We're going to turn into a pumpkin at some point. We're going to go on a losing streak. And to be honest, it didn't feel that way. If I go look at the locks, where the slipper fell off was just in the value bets. The value bets column, things went wrong yesterday. You could look at that and go like, oh my God, that's terrible, Rico. It's actually not that bad if you paced yourself. If you do unit discipline, if you put it all out there on, different charts and different ways of betting, this wasn't that bad. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth, because the column on your left are your locks, and we're trying to get to 50% over here because these are all positive bets. These are all usually plus 100 is what it comes out to. And I think we're above 50%. I haven't even counted it yet. I can count it in front of you guys. Let's see the hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we have 22 hits. And remember, this is like a menu. You don't have to eat everything. You got to pick and choose what you want to order. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 22 and 17 in the locks column is insane on prop bets, on these bets. You'd be so far ahead, it's not even funny. You're literally, at worst, you're ahead about 5 units if you put a unit on each one of these. But there's more because there's plus juice here. Right? That's a plus 150. That's a plus 1. I know we had a plus 161 in here. So if you're doing it right and you're not parlaying everything, if you just come in here and you say to yourself, I want to flip units today, and you were betting $100 on each one of these, you'd be up $500. But I know you guys want to bet $10 and make it into 1,000. I know that's what you want to do, but that's not what we do here. We flip units here. This is what we do. Okay. The leans column, probably pretty close to even. It's just a little different, right? And then the values, man, we don't even have to be at 50% on the values to make money, because some of these are plus 600, plus 750. We were way up on the weekday games. Now, this is weekday game results right here if you're looking, right? There's that little gap right there. That's yesterday's games. So weekdays, we were up, and if you do the math, it's like 20 units. But came crashing down horrifically yesterday. Don't make all the value bets. Pick and choose wisely. Pick a lot of these. Pick some of these, and just tell you know what I like to think about these? This is your entree. This is the meal you want to eat the most. This is your entree right here. This is your appetizer, and these should be dessert. And yeah, dessert tastes good, but you don't need it sometimes. Dessert, pick one dessert, pick 2 desserts, and call it a day. Appetizer, pick a few. That entree, you need to be eating the shit out of this, bro. I'm hitting over 50% on plus 100 bets. That's incredible. That's incredible, guys. This right here, I'm so proud of it. I'm dialed in, and I need you guys to trust the process. Now, the actual chart. Here's where we said, oh, the slipper's going to fall off tomorrow. The slipper's going to fall off. Oh, my God, be careful, Rico. Rico doesn't know, all that stuff. Here it is. We were clean sweeping all the way until Saturday, and then we had 4 locks miss. That's fine with me, right? 4 locks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 4. Okay, 60%. We hit 60% out of 10. About what I offer, about what I tell you guys. Can't parlay it all. It's what I tell you guys to do. Bet it straight across. And after we won in the morning, I said, hey guys, sit the night out. Go bet UFC. The law of averages, it's gonna come back to get us. Bet in the morning, win your money, and stay away from the nighttime games. This is what I'm saying on the Discord server, on the live stream. If you're not on the Discord server, you're not on the live stream, and you're an MVP. If you're on Patreon and you're an MVP and you're not connected to the Discord server, you are literally getting half of the information, half of the advice, half of the advisement, half of the analysis. You're not even getting the injury reports. You don't even know what we're talking about. And we're trying to help you. Like this miss here, Northern Illinois. I got to keep it here. But I put out an injury report update on the Discord server before the game. And several MVPs, if you look here, several MVPs, this is our injury updates channel. I put it in here. And I said, Northern Illinois running back Ontario Brown listed as questionable Saturday. This hurts NIU big time if he can't play. And you'll see some MVPs down here. They were either down here or they were in the other chat, and I don't want to have to sift through it all. But dude said, I'm out. And he went out and cashed out off of that injury report. Now, he ended up playing. Ontario Brown ended up playing. But the point is like, if you want the most up-to-date information, get to the Discord server. Please. I can't post that on Patreon in real time. It takes time to process things, and I don't want to clutter the homepage with a bunch of injury updates. So we do it on Discord. You're missing all that information. So you could have avoided this miss. I can't. Once I put it on the chart, I leave it there. Even if I get an injury update before the game, even if I know an hour before the game, I do not change it because I've already put out all that information to 2,000 people, and they've already made the bet. What good does it do for me to go out there and correct my chart and take it off? But if there was a game I was going to take off this chart, it was that one due to that injury report. But I don't change after I post. We just leave it alone. We deal with it. So, yeah, I got a loss. I got a miss. Oh, well. Some of these other misses here, teams showed up, teams didn't show up. But remember, I gave sound advice. The Moneyline talent chart predictor is undefeated. Undefeated. Syracuse beats UNLV, Virginia beats Boston College, Pitt beats North Carolina, and SMU beats Louisville. I don't care what the Vegas odds say. I know what my analysis says. And we're undefeated. Now, if you look at the record, I say 17-11 yesterday, and if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 misses only, but I counted these 4 misses against me on the money line part. And I know some people think I don't count these against me, but I am, because I highlighted them green and black, meaning those 3 were supposed to be locks, and this one was supposed to be a black. But it's a money line parlay thing, so I'm just challenging myself. That's why when people ask what's your record against the spread, it doesn't really matter, because I'm doing my own data, my own research, and I'm doing it to myself. I don't even care about this record, bro. Like, this record doesn't matter to me. Oh, Rico, you're only 60% against the spread. Yeah, bro, that's fine. But if you're picking and choosing wisely and you're making smart decisions, you should be okay. Moneyline underdogs, we went 3 out of 7 last night. We went 3 and 4. Please understand, 3 and 4, you would have been positive in money. If you put a unit on every single one of these and you just trust me, you would have made money yesterday, because we hit a plus 205, a plus 168, and 146. So you bet $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $700. What would you get in return? Well, that would give you 315. That would give you 268 essentially, and another 246. It's over $700 you would get back. All you had to do was hit 3 of them. So yes, we're under 50% yesterday on these bets, but that doesn't matter when you're hitting a plus 205, a plus 168, and a 146. When you miss, all you're missing is a 100. All you're missing is your unit that you bet. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. This is so profitable, it's insane. The fact that we're 22 and 22 on underdogs is insane. And I don't know what you guys are doing with your money. I don't know. That's on you, bro. That's on you. But that's where we're at. All right, let's go talk about these results. So I'll go in order on this chart. I don't care. We'll leave it like this. So we're looking at Miami-Cal. Most people went to bed last night and assumed Cal won the game. Obviously, Miami didn't cover the spread, so it was a miss on my part. But Miami comes back to win, 21 points in the fourth quarter. I talked about Cal's defense not being the factor in this game. I thought the factor in this game would be Miami's defense and their ability to get after the quarterback. Now, there was a number of sacks in this game. There was an ability to get after the quarterback, but it didn't really matter. Cal's offense, Cal has this adage. I've talked about Cal for 2 years, and I tell you guys the same thing. I guess Cal can score against anybody. Cal can score on anybody, and Miami has a lot of things to figure out. Now, let's talk about hindsight and what we learned in this game. What we learned in this game is traveling to the West Coast and playing a game at midnight, jet lag is real. Like Miami players, this game kicked off at 10 p.m. or something like that. Understand it's like midnight for, it's 1 a.m. for these Miami players. And we say that they're out there looking like zombies, but then they go and pull it out in the fourth quarter. You know why they pulled it out in the fourth quarter? Because they were just waking up. They thought it was Sunday morning. At least their bodies did. It was 2 a.m. for the rest of us. I don't know what's going on there. I'm just joking around right now. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is Miami comes back to win this game. There was a lot of, luck. A lot of luck. I saw a 4th and 20 conversion, 4th and 6, 4th and 5. And you can say what you want to say, but I don't think Cal's defense was the difference maker in this game. They gave up 39 points. I think the difference maker in this game is you have amazing players, and they're going to show up and make plays when you need them. Cam Ward's going to frustrate you. He's going to make a bunch of misplays and a bunch of things go wrong. I'm going to tell you that anytime you're throwing 53 times in a game for 437 yards, that's not the recipe for success. You are not Colorado. You don't want to throw that many times in a game. And they did. But they found a way to win, so congratulations to them. We did miss on this. It's unfortunate. I got to go back and watch all the tape. Obviously, I watch tape all week long, so I got to go back and watch all the tape and make sure I'm checking on a few things that I'm curious about on the Cal side. But that meltdown's epic, and it's unfortunate for Cal. Yeah. Nobody was right on that game, by the way. Not the people who believed in Cal's defense, not the people who believed in Miami's offense. Nobody was right. If you bet Cal to cover the spread, you were right. Congratulations. Texas Tech, Arizona. If you watch the pregame video, and I gave the analysis, I covered every single game for the MVPs. If you watch the pregame video on Saturday morning, I talked about how Texas Tech is a better team than Arizona from my perspective because of Texas Tech's wide receiver room. I actually think they're elite. Noah Fafita comes out here, throws 2 interceptions. Taj Brooks runs all over these guys and just keeps the ball and just keeps churning, and they find a way to win. Congratulations, Texas Tech. I wish I had it on the money line chart because it was good value. It was a plus 180. And I hate when I'm sitting there and I make a prediction for you guys and it comes true and then it's not on the chart. So I said Texas Tech is winning this game. Why wouldn't I have it on the chart if I think they're winning the game? Well, because I wouldn't bet on it. But I probably would have with the amount of value they were getting. I really thought they were a better team. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I'm on Arizona's over win totals, and I need them to win every game. Vandy beats Alabama. I very, very vividly told the MVPs, do not bet on this game. I did not believe in Vandy enough to cover the spread. I had it on the chart, but I had it at an alternate spread of plus 30. Diego Pavia, the man, right? I believe in Diego all day. I told you guys this. There's no way you bet on this game. You don't bet against Diego Pavia. And it's not because he's some NFL prospect. It's because he's gritty. He's a service academy quarterback. You know what I mean by that? Like, he's a dog. 3-time state champ at wrestling. He's a service academy quarterback, but with SEC teammates. They have talented players. They're good enough to beat teams. They beat Virginia Tech and Alabama. Come on, man. I got Alabama winning 9 games this year. 9 games. And everybody's going to attack me for that. And they think this, but it's because of stuff like this. Congratulations to Vandy. Shout out to them. And Alabama, I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you. You lost to Vanderbilt. I do not want to hear from you at all. And no Jalen Milroe hype. I don't want to hear about his Heisman. No, and no again. I'm proud of the MVPs for staying away from this one. They were 22-point favorites, and you just saw them put up 28 points by halftime against Georgia, so you thought they were going to go out there and smash these dudes. Nah. They've been reading their own press clippings. They ignored Vandy. They didn't prep for Vandy this week. I don't think they did. I don't think they implemented anything in their game plan to beat Vandy this week. Ohio State eventually outclasses Iowa. 3 touchdowns for that Emeka kid. Congratulations to Ohio State. They looked the part. They're on my parlay to make the playoffs, so I really need them to keep winning and doing great things, and they are. And Iowa just can't find ways to score. You don't score till the fourth quarter, I don't believe in you. Marshall did better. Arkansas beats Tennessee. I've been calling it for what? Every single week this season? I've been telling you guys Tennessee's not a top 5 team. Now, I picked Tennessee to win this game. I thought Tennessee would win the game. I thought Tennessee would cover the spread. But I never once thought Tennessee was a top 5 team in America. I never once thought Tennessee is worthy of a top 10 ranking. Tennessee has a very substandard quarterback who doesn't make great decisions. He's surrounded by elite players, good defense, good skill players, but their quarterback is their problem. Nico is not very good. He makes poor decisions with the ball. It's the reality. It's the final play of the game. Didn't even throw it. Couldn't get it off. It's just one of those things. Georgia, Auburn. Georgia did not cover this spread. Shout out to Auburn for being competitive in the game. But Georgia's very dominant on defense. I think they'll figure it out. They'll keep winning. Georgia, shout out to you. They have a really good loss. It's to Alabama. It's the only loss. That's a much better. They should be ranked ahead of Alabama because they have a better loss than Alabama. That happened back in 1999, if you guys don't know that. Penn State, just being serious. Miami was ranked ahead of somebody, Florida State. I think it was that. It's out there. Penn State, UCLA. Both teams look terrible in this game. UCLA always looks bad with the backup quarterback. At least they gave up a fight a little bit. But Penn State, you got no. You don't score in the first quarter. I hate you, Penn State. Not impressed. I'll go back and watch the game. A&M absolutely throttles Missouri. Missouri's in trouble. Missouri has an easy schedule, guys. I had them winning like 10 games because of their easy schedule. They better figure it to flip out. They look terrible on offense. They couldn't stop that defensive line from A&M. And A&M's defense, before the game I said A&M's defense is elite. I was complete understatement. I did not give them enough credit. Speaking of not giving enough credit, Washington beating Michigan. Michigan just looks bad. Michigan looks bad. At one point, they tied up this game, or they took the lead, and then Washington said, nah, I'm going to just impose my will upon you. And I'm not talking about that thing you write before you die. I'm talking about what you use when you really, really try. I didn't mean to rhyme. It's a bad time. Anyways, I'm looking at Washington. They're impressing the hell out of me. They're out here winning games, and it's coaching. It really is. It's coaching, and it's just understanding your identity. Speaking of identity, USC has none. USC sucks. USC loses to Minnesota. Congratulations, Minnesota. Straight up. Fourth quarter is yours. You took the heart out of these guys. You just keep smashing them. All Diddy. Just giving them back shots, and you take over in the fourth quarter. Congratulations. Winning the game. Ole Miss, South Carolina. I told you guys I like South Carolina's defensive line. Get out of here, bro. They couldn't score. Lenore Sellers not ready for this game. And Ole Miss looks like – I understand they lost the game. I understand they lost to Kentucky, who I thought was – Kentucky's my second best defense in America behind Ohio State. So I understand that Ole Miss loses and they lose all that. But Ole Miss is so much better than Tennessee. Ole Miss is so much better than Tennessee, and they're ranked 12th. Nah. I promise you. They really are. Ole Miss out here doing it. Just very dominant. Good stuff. Clemson finding a way to win. I love that first quarter. 17-0. I was like, yo. Then it got a little ugly. Became a slugfest. Florida State's defense showed up to play. It's fine. We covered the spread. We'll take it. Back. It was a scary cover, by the way. But shout out to Clemson. Keep being dominant. And Florida State, bro. 1-5 at this point. That's embarrassing. Hey, those kids got parents. Embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, Baylor 0-3 in the Big 12. You're going nowhere. I understand you were good in this game for 3 quarters. Iowa State covered the spread, looked dominant. Remember, good teams win, great teams cover the spread. I'm on Iowa State all day. I've told you they're the best team in the Big 12 for about the last 2 weeks now. I've been high on Iowa State. They were always in my top 3 for sure, but I'm so excited for them. 5-0. Yeah, let's do it. Boise State. Nobody's tackling Genty. He went for a touchdown on his first carry. He was gone, and it was insane. 13 carries, 186 yards. Didn't play in the second half. Do not bet on Ashton Genty to break the NCAA record for yard. They're not keeping him in the game. And Utah State, man, you can't tackle anybody. SMU money line. Told you they're better than Louisville. There's no other way around it. I evaluate talent. I break down rosters. It's what I do for a living. And I told you SMU is better than Louisville, and I was right. Indiana, Northwestern. No sweat here for me. I told you Indiana's great. People are mad about the defense. They're giving them too many points. Rico, they're not good. They're undefeated 6-0. I'm the only person in the world on the internet that was telling you Indiana's going to be 9-0, 7-0. I have them beating all kinds of teams. I really, really like Indiana. And they come out here, cover the spread, find a way to win. It's a lock for me every week because I know how good Indiana is. And I know. MVPs are emotional. Oh, my God, they have no defense. They can't do that. Bro, they got players for days. And when it matters, they make the plays. They get it done. They're so reliable. They're scoring on every offensive possession. Just keep marching. They're marching, and I'm with them every day. Purdue, the wheels have fallen off. You look absolutely terrible, and you made Wisconsin look like world beaters. That's pretty impressive after losing to USC. That's what kind of levels there are to this. That's how far down in the cellar Purdue is, and you got to remember that. Shout out to Wisconsin. They look great. UMass, for the second week in a row, they have life. They have life, and it's one of those things where they're looking competitive. They were in the lead at half. They only gave up a pick six in the first half, so there was no offensive output whatsoever from Northern Illinois. Eventually, Northern Illinois finds a way to score in the fourth quarter and all this stuff, but this game was a lot closer than that score. 34-20? It was back and forth, and Northern Illinois was losing. But championship pedigrees find a way to win, and losing pedigrees and losing culture finds a way to lose. And that's the difference in this game. I was not impressed with Northern Illinois at all. They're probably off the chart. Now, I say they're off the chart, and they're probably going to play weekday games because they're a MAC team, and we're going to have to bet on them again. But, man, they really, really disappointed me. And UMass, putting up a fight here and there. Virginia, Boston College. I did not care that Thomas Castellanos was coming back. I told you guys this. I don't care that Thomas Castellanos was coming back. And he went 7 for 7 on the first drive, and he looked amazing. He's piecing everybody up. I don't care. Virginia's a better team. I did my evaluation on talent. Virginia's going to win this game, money line. Put it on the chart, believe me. Pitt, going to beat North Carolina. Put it on the chart, believe me. Now, the bet that missed on this game was we had 4 touchdowns in the first half, 4 touchdowns in the second half. We got 4 in the first. We only got 3 in the second. Missed it by 1 touchdown. Shout out to North Carolina for just falling apart. But Pitt, man, you got yourself a quarterback. You deserve to be ranked. You deserve to be in the top 25. I really believe in you wholeheartedly. And people need to stop hating on Pitt. They find ways to score. They've beaten quality teams. North Carolina, Cincy. They've beaten good teams. I like Pitt. Did they win the backyard brawl? Yes. They beat West Virginia. Think about that. Pitt's beat West Virginia, Cincy, and North Carolina. Those aren't easy teams to beat. Am I tripping right now? No, I'm not. Those are Big 12 teams. Okay. Wake Forest. NC State, you're embarrassing, bro. You're embarrassing, NC State. The only thing more embarrassing than NC State is the fact that I was high on them in the preseason. And then they've proceeded to be terrible for 6 weeks in a row now. Even when they win, they're terrible. But losing to Wake Forest, there's no excuse for this. There's none. It's outrageous. Navy to Air Force, lock of the day. Told you guys they were going to win by 30. I didn't care what the odds maker said. The spread was 10. I said, hey, Navy is so elite compared to Air Force. It's crazy. Air Force has no offense. And we watched this game, MVPs. Never in doubt. We're printing money. Horvath, anytime touchdown, 2 touchdowns to score, whatever it is. We are printing money. We know how good Navy is. We know how bad Air Force is. Another team that deserves to be ranked in the top 25 is Navy. I don't care. I know. Service academies. You don't believe in them. Army, 5-0. Throttled Tulsa. Another one where they said the spread was like 11 points. Nah. Kanye Udo, 6 carries, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's my hidden gem on Army in the preseason. 6 carries, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Kanye Udo. He is a friend of the channel, does follow me on Twitter, does follow me on TikTok. I appreciate that man's support. Tulane blowing out UAB. I told you Tulane was going to win by 30. I think I said by 30. I was wrong. They won by 50. We missed on this because I had an alternate over-under of 62.5. I thought UAB's not scoring, and there's no way Tulane's going to score over 50 or 60. So let's go 62.5 on the alternate spread, or the alternate over-under is what I did. Missed out every single one of those bets because UAB's busted ass is out here allowing insane amount of points. 20 points a quarter, bro. Shout out to Jalen Kitna for getting to play. That's the kid who got kicked out of Florida for being a pedo. He had child corn on his phone, and he's getting a second chance, and he finally got to start in this game because Jacob Zeno wasn't ready to play. Once I saw Jacob Zeno was out, I knew Tulane was winning this by a country mile. The spread was only 17 points. I laugh at that kind of shit. That's dumb. Tulane is so much better than UAB. I watched UAB get blown out by ULM. Come on now. Western Michigan had a 10-point spread against Ball State, and I told you guys, nah. In the preseason, I probably would have done it. I would have believed in Western Michigan, but not from what I've seen this year. They just can't stop anybody. Jaden Nixon gives them a new dynamic in the running back room for sure. He had 3 touchdowns. He breaks all these long runs. That's an Oklahoma State transfer. Used to be sharing time with Ollie Gordon in the backfield back when they were both freshmen. But Jaden Nixon's a speed back, not a real guy, and not a real running back for me. He's just a speed back. And I want to say that Jaden Nixon doesn't play defense. And I don't know who does. But Western Michigan gives up a ton of points, and they'll never cover a spread because of it. UConn. Somebody lied to us in this game. I believed in the over. We didn't get there. I said we were going to get over 49.5 points is what I said. We didn't even get there. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Almost got there. I think I had the over 51.5. Something like that. It doesn't matter. Temple lied to us. They had to start a different quarterback. They didn't start Evan Simon. They wasn't on the injury report. Nobody reported it anywhere. And that happens in college football. Sometimes we get lied to. So UConn did not cover the spread, I don't think. I think they were 10-point favorites. They might have covered the spread. I think MVP's won some money on this somehow, some way. But congratulations. Virginia Tech absolutely smashes Stanford. Go out there, handle your business. Bad. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Stanford looks terrible. App State, speaking of looking terrible. Braylon Braxton. I'm late. I'm not late. Braylon Braxton is late. I talked about Braylon Braxton last year when he was at Tulsa, and I thought he was going to be a star quarterback. He was a backup. Okay? I need everybody to understand this. He was a backup at Tulsa to a guy named Davis Brin. So Davis Brin. So Brin was the starter. Braylon Braxton's the backup. Brin transfers to Georgia Southern last year. Leads the country in interceptions and throws a bunch of times. Good player. Not bad. And Braylon Braxton was supposed to be the starting quarterback in Tulsa last year. But injuries happen. He jumped in the portal. Nobody wanted him or nothing. It didn't work out. He comes back to the team. There's a new coaching staff. There's all this stuff. Braylon never gets to play. Things go wrong. He never gets to play. And when he played like shit. I think one game he threw 3 passes, either all picks, interceptions, something going on, or incompletion, something. And then they started playing like other freshmen. And eventually, halfway through the year, Tulsa plays a guy named Tate and then another guy named Kirk Francis. Kirk Francis is the starting quarterback at Tulsa today. So Braylon Braxton finally jumps in the transfer portal this offseason, and I'm like, that is the best dual-threat quarterback that nobody knows. That's the guy I believe in. But I was singing his praises a year too early, and I look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Because he's not playing, and he's not on the field. And I'm just looking around going, that's the best guy I've seen on tape. So then he transfers to Marshall, and he's competing with Chad Pennington's son. And when you're competing with Cole Pennington, a legacy quarterback, you're not going to win the quarterback battle. And then another transfer comes in. Stone Earl leaves North Texas, shows up, and they give the job to Stone Earl. And I'm sitting here going, wait, man, I know I evaluated Braylon Braxton to be a very good quarterback. I know I did. I think he's the best dual-threat quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback on Marshall's roster, but he's not on the field. And Charles Huff, that will get you fired. You got to get the best players on the field. They finally got the best player on the field. He finally gets in the game, and you see it here. 15 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also threw for 3 touchdowns. Braylon Braxton is him. I've been right for the last 2 years. The worst part about this is I was on App State money line because I didn't know he was playing. If I knew he was a starting quarterback this week, we would have been on this shit. I would have been screaming. Braylon Braxton, man. What a stud. What a stuff. And App State, you're fucking worthless. Toledo covers the spread against Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is not very good. And they still put up 20 on Toledo. That scares me. But Toledo, you got it done. Congratulations, and you won. That was a lock for us. Speaking of getting it done and a lock for us, so was Bowling Green, and they missed. Bowling Green was a miss, and they did not get it done. This is a complete opposite of Toledo. That was a bad segue on my part. I got to work on these. I'm working on segues, bro. I'm working on it because they want me to work on TV. I don't want to be on TV. But, they want me to be on TV. Every time I talk to somebody, an agent, somebody, hey, you interested in any production? Any production? Dude, do you jump in the water with your nose plugged? Get away from me. Harold Fannin Jr., win ham, like he always does. Leads the country in receiving yards among tight ends. Harold Fannin Jr. is him. I think he might be top 10 nationally in receiving yards. NFL tight end. And they find a way to win this game. Shout out to Akron. Akron's defense, I evaluated them to be very good in the MAC in the preseason. And then they haven't shown that any time until yesterday. That really frustrated me. They started playing good defense. That really frustrates me. But shout out to Bowling Green finding a way to win. It is a conference win, but it was not impressive. Impressive is Charlotte, bro. Purdy finally gets his second start. This is a true freshman quarterback. It's been buried on the depth chart. But the real talent at Charlotte, and I've been talking about this for 2 years, is Hassan Wilson. Friend of the channel. I have advised him before in the DMs. He asked me if he should transfer. I said, no, stick around. You're going to be the only running back left in that running back room. You are the running back that they need. Hassan Wilson, South Carolina kid. Love everything about that kid. And went out there, 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, dominating East Carolina. Putting up 55 points on East Carolina is crazy. East Carolina's defense is good, or at least it was. And these guys had 31 at half. And the wheels fall off in the fourth quarter. And that's bad. That's a bad look for East Carolina. You can't be losing to Charlotte like that and Biff Poggi. You just can't. And the reason for this is you're competing for the same recruits. You're competing for the same position coaches. You're competing for a lot of different things. And after a disappointing year last year from ECU, you needed to bounce back. And these are the wins that you should have. We pencil these in. You should have had this win, theoretically, until you get on the field and you don't get there. Shout out to Nebraska finding a way to win. These are both great teams. Both very good teams, I should say, not great. But Nebraska went out there and won the game. Very dominant, boring to watch game. I watched about half of it. I'll watch the other half probably later today. But I watched half of it. I was on Rutgers on this verbally. I didn't put a bet on it or anything. I just said it, and they didn't get it done. West Virginia. Oh, by the way, the reason I'm on Rutgers on that is because I'm on Rutgers over 6.5 wins. I'm on Rutgers over 6.5. I have apparently to Kim, babe, do I have 3 bets on Rutgers? Yeah. I have 3 futures bets on Rutgers. I didn't realize it. They better get it done. I thought I had 1. And she's reading off all the futures bets this morning, and it was 3 of them. And I'm like, oh, my God. That's crazy, bro. Another futures bet I'm on is West Virginia. I am on West Virginia to win over 6 games. So West Virginia, I think it's 6.5 as well. West Virginia beats Oklahoma State. I called this money line underdog. Easy call for me. Oklahoma State is not playing the way we anticipated. They look terrible. They're 0-3 in conference play, which is nuts for a team that was in the conference championship last year and returned everybody. They did not prepare properly. Ollie Gordon was busy getting DUIs in the offseason. Gundy was busy kissing the ass of all the criminals on his team and not teaching them how to win games. West Virginia, man, nil. Congratulations, Neil Brown. Jaheim White is him, by the way. I'm so happy when they finally give Jaheim White the ball. That's the running back for West Virginia. He's the speed back, if you will. They have Donaldson will get it, move the chain, score touchdowns. But I'm so happy when Jaheim White actually gets the ball. Oregon State wins in overtime. Disappointing season, double overtime, by the way. Disappointing season for Colorado State continues. Torrey Horton got his yards this game. Braden Fowler, none of this matters, bro. You fell apart, and you had this. You had a chance to win this game, and you fell apart when it mattered the most. Old Dominion loses. Coastal Carolina finds a way to win. It's all about this guy Washington, bro. Only 8 carries, 89 yards. Get the ball to Washington. I understand Vasco is intriguing and you want to throw like crazy. Control the game. Run a little bit. Calm down. Get it done. Arkansas State. South Alabama, man. It sucks you lose to Arkansas State. I love South Alabama's team. Love the way they play. But Jalen Raynor is special. Jalen Raynor is special, and he shouldn't be at Arkansas State. He needs to hit the transfer portal and be starting at Houston. He needs to hit the transfer portal and be starting at Arkansas. He needs to be somewhere else. Oh, no, he needs to go back to North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina needs a quarterback. He's from Carolina, by the way. He probably needs to go to Carolina. Like North Carolina. He needs to be at Charlotte. No, not Charlotte. He needs to be at Chapel Hill. Jalen Raynor's him. Transfer to North Carolina, please. He's so good. ULM. I should have listened to their coaches. The win-loss total for ULM, the win in the preseason was 2.5. And I said take the under. They're not winning 3 games. They just won their 4th game. They beat an undefeated JMU team. And their coaches, somebody on their coaching staff reached out to me on Twitter in the DMs. And he just said, hey, Rico, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I'm a fan of the channel. I'm a fan of what you do. I just want to let you know we're going to surprise a lot of people this year. And I said, oh, well, hey, Coach, thanks for the support. Thanks for reaching out. I believe you, but you're just going to have to prove it to me. And here we are. And what's crazy about it is last year, the same thing happened with Missouri. Missouri players reached out to me. Shout out to Carnell, the starting safety. Carnell reached out to me on TikTok and said, hey, Rico, evaluate my tape. I'm like, I evaluate his tape. And then, hey, how many games do you think we're going to win this year? And I'm like, I think you guys are going to go 4-8. And I put it on wax. I put it in 4K. I put it on video. 4 wins for Missouri. They won 11. I missed so bad. It's my only genuine, where I was just sitting there like, yo, I really, really missed on that shit. That's crazy. I wasn't trolling or nothing. I really missed. And I thought Drinkowitz would be fired. And after yesterday's performance, he probably should have been fired. But every year, you're going to miss somewhere. And then somebody will go, oh, Rico doesn't know. Dude, a miss is a miss. That's just one miss. When I get something right, it's just right. It's just one right. It's different, bro. So anyways, ULM, I missed on them hard. They beat the hell out of JMU. Physically beat them up. JMU tries a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, and they fail it. And they miss it. And at that point, my heart sinks for them. Shout out to ULM. There's a party in the street, bro. Brian Vincent is so good. That's the head coach at ULM. He's so good. He does more with less. Remember, he made UAB, who's the laughing stock of college football right now. He made UAB a bowl-eligible team as an interim head coach. And the staff and the administration at UAB didn't want to keep him. They said, nah, we don't want that guy. He's not Trent Dilfer. He's not the name. We need the name recognition. We need to go hire another Deion Sanders or Trent Dilfer, whoever. One of these former NFL players. Nah, bro. Brian Vincent, shout out to Spanish Fort, former high school coach in Alabama, doing everything he needs to do at ULM. Yeah, good for him. 4-1, undefeated in the Sun Belt. And they're boring to watch, bro. It's hard to watch. And they got a true freshman running back. This guy Hardy right here, true freshman. He's just a hammer. Louisiana let me down. Didn't cover the spread. Sucks, man. They did cover the alternate spread that I had on the chart, though, so I'm happy with that. But they didn't get it done when I needed them to. Southern Miss was able to put up 13 second quarter points, and 2 field goals in the second half is not cutting it. Not cutting it at all. You got to finish those drives. We would have covered the spread easily. Very disappointing for me to see Louisiana not cover the spread. Congratulations. They are 4-1, though. They are still a really good team. Only loss this year is to Tulane, who's elite. San Jose State did not cover the spread, but I was on the over in this game. I was on the over, and the over-under for this game was 48.5 points. I told you guys take the over. It moved up to 51. That does not matter. San Jose State can score against anyone, and anyone can score on them. But once you're trailing, this guy Brandon Lewis needs to start throwing the ball, and you will eventually make a mistake. And I believe the game ended on an interception. I was watching this, if I remember correctly, it was last night. It was a blur, bro. We had a lot of stuff going on, but I think it ended on an interception. Congratulations, San Jose State. In the preseason, or not in the preseason, in the pre-game video I made for you guys, when I talk about all the slate for the MVPs, I told you Florida's winning this game. I believe Florida's just a better team than UCF. What you guys got to remind yourself about UCF, and I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to disparage that team, okay? UCF is a group of 5 team. That's what they were 2 years ago. They were brand new to the Big 12 last year. It was their first year in Power 5 football. And now here they are. And what they tried to do was patch together a team with transfer portal players. And if you go back and watch the transfer portal analysis, I have a bunch of live streams on the transfer portal. It's on YouTube. You just click on the live tab on the homepage and go ahead and scroll down on the live tab and keep scrolling until you find the transfer portal episodes. And I want you to go to like the linebackers episode 1 on linebackers, I'm sure. And watch what I say about UCF's linebackers that they signed out of the transfer portal. And I just start going, oh, they're not very good. Oh, they're signing the wrong players. Oh, I know they got Ernie Sims, and I know they got these coaches, and I know they got, oh, they're signing all the wrong, they got the wrong guys. You don't sign a guy from Idaho at linebacker and think he's going to be good enough to win you games in the Big 12 like that. None of this looks good. And there's no way you're beating Florida. Nah, you're not talented enough. And it showed out. So I was on Florida money line, talked about it before the game. Shout out to the MVPs who took it. It wasn't on the chart, but I did talk about it. Another game I believed in was Duke. Thought they were going to cover this spread. I think the spread got all the way up to 10.5. I don't know. But Georgia Tech was obviously going to win the game. There was no doubt in my mind they were winning the game. I just thought they would score more points. But I thought Duke would score more points. I thought this was going to be a higher scoring game. It's all right. Duke finally loses. They've been a fraud. The only good thing on Duke is their defensive line. Arizona State, Kansas. God. I was on Kansas money line underdog. God, Kansas 1-5, bro. I was so right when I assessed them, and I changed my mind. You know, when I first assessed Kansas, I said, oh, they're going to be bad this year because of their offensive line. I have a video on it on somewhere on Patreon. When I broke down Kansas initially, I didn't think Kansas was going to win a lot of games. I think I might have had their over under 9 or 8 or whatever. And then I went back and I convinced myself they were going to win 9 games. I convinced myself they're going to be good this year. And I said, well, they have a bad offensive line, but they'll still find a way to score. They'll still find a way to move the ball. They got a great coach. They got good quarterback, running back, all the skill players. None of that matters, bro. Their line sucks, and their defense falls apart eventually. And how do you not shut down a dude named Levitt? By the way, Levitt did not throw for the over yards, but he did throw for 4 touchdowns. Everything I was right. Price picks, I had Levitt under yards and his wide receiver Gilroy under yards. Both those hit. But he threw for 4 touchdowns. Less than 200 yards. Nuts, bro. Nuts. Kansas. It's college football. San Diego State, told you it was a coin flip game. Find a way to beat Hawaii. Timmy Chang struggling out there. Congrats. Shout out to San Diego State. And that was all the games. So that's the results this week. What I want to do is I want to tell you guys from a capping standpoint and from where we stand and how I feel about it is I'm so utterly grateful that on a day when all the upsets occurred, we dominated and we won a ton of money. I told MVP, stay away from those marquee games and those big matchups and let's bet all our money. You see the underlying games here. These are the ones I really believe in, right? All the underlying games. And if you're looking at them, you should have been on top. You should have been on top with underlying games all week. The value bet, things like that. If you aren't ahead at the end of the week, you're parlaying too much. You're not listening. You're not watching the videos. There's no way you should be behind. When we're 7-10 and 11 on a week like this against the spread, yeah, you should be way up. You should be up at least 6 units. At least 6. Way more. All right. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.